on, guys? We're down here in downtown Cedar Rapids. We're about to get a photo shoot in, get some footage, run some errands. Talk to y'all soon.
Nice. All right, and then I'll see, can we use the stand?
So we're taking a little break in the photo shoot, about to get a meal in downtown Cedar Rapids. We've got some tofu, we got chickpeas, onions, green beans, carrots, and then my favorite, purple sweet potato. What's going on, guys? Today I'm gonna take you on a little bit of a journey with basically a typical day for me for grocery shopping. Now, I grocery shop about once a week, generally on a Friday. So you're gonna kind of see today the things that I get. We're gonna start out here at Pioneer Co-op. This is kind of like a health food store up here in Iowa, whereas, down south where I'm from, I'd be used to, say, like a Sprouts. We could also go to a Whole Foods up here or something like that, but the Pioneer Co-op is awesome. So I'm just gonna get a couple things here that I'm not gonna generally be able to get over at the main grocery store like Hy-Vee. So we'll get a couple of these specialty foods here. Come on. So one of the main staples that I always have, they're some of the best crackers. I get two different types of crackers here. Is this brand right here, Wasa, so the sourdough or the multi-grain. I'm gonna go ahead and get the sourdough. It's super clean. I mean, it's literally 30 calories. Each cracker is this big. And all it is whole grain rye flour, yeast, and salt. And the other ones that I like to use is, I don't really use these ones, but this top layer right here, Mary's right here, they have all these different flavors. I always get the everything crackers. They're super, super awesome. The ingredients are just whole food ingredients: brown rice, quinoa, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, sesame seeds, poppy seeds, onion, garlic, sea salt. No oils. I don't like the added oils. I don't do all the canola oils, the palm oils, all these different things. Any added sugars, cane sugars, stuff like this. So it's just whole plant foods, and they just have different flavors. I actually generally get the everything, but I'm gonna go ahead and try something new. I'm gonna go ahead and get the jalapeno ones this time. So if you've seen me make my breakfast bowl with the frozen berries and all that, and I would put a granola on top rather than using a granola, because a lot of times the granolas will have, you can make your own of course, but a lot of times the granolas will have, a bunch of added sugar, palm oils, canola oils, stuff like that. I actually use the Ezekiel 4-9 cereal, and they have a couple different flavors here. They also have a cinnamon raisin one, which is my favorite. And this is actually coming straight from the scriptures, from the book of Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 9. The ingredients are just whole foods, nothing processed, things like that. So I'll actually take one of each just because I stock up on them. It'll last me weeks. This might even last me a month, because I just put a little scoop on top of my my morning breakfast every morning. So y'all have seen me make my own almond butter and my own peanut butter. So I'll just come to the store, get a big thing of almonds. So this is just dry roasted almonds, So I'll also get just dry roasted peanuts, but same thing. I don't get the peanuts and the almonds that have oils and sugars all added to it. Just plain and simple, so that I could take this home and make my own butters. My main food groups that I eat is, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and legumes, as well as fermented foods, whether that be kimchi, whether it be sauerkraut, whether it be kombucha, all the above, so there's a bunch of different kinds of all of these things. So I'll just, pick just a different flavor. And so actually what I'm going to do today, this is one I really like too, is it's like fermented carrots, ginger carrots. And so, really clean, but really flavorful. So I'll just mix it up and just get different kinds of fermented foods. And for me personally, when it comes to the kimchis, the sauerkrauts, things like this, a lot of times I keep it simple. I get a fork or a spoon, take 1 or 2 bites a day, and that's it. You don't need a whole lot. But you can just add it to your foods, you know. So if I'm just doing like a homemade Chipotle bowl or whatever, you know, just throw it on top of there. If you're putting it in your burritos or something like that, throw it on top of there. You can really just kind of add it to any of your stuff. It's very versatile. So one of the main reasons I actually come to this store is because Hy-Vee, which if you're not familiar, if you're from the South, you may not be familiar with Hy-Vee. I was not. I know some other people who were not. Hy-Vee is like the H-E-B of the North, right? And so carries so much stuff. But one of the things that the Hy-Vees don't carry that I've personally seen are different specialty varieties of potatoes. And so you've seen pictures or videos of me doing purple sweet potato, right? So that's actually what these are, is purple sweet potato, which these are actually gonna have higher amounts of antioxidants than regular white potato or something like that. So I'll generally get a couple of these just to have on me. But one thing I really, really like are these white sweet potatoes. White sweet potatoes, as well as the Japanese sweet potatoes, they taste like an unsweetened white cake. It's really, really good. I've actually, through somebody that I was seeing on Instagram, they were eating a lot of Japanese sweet potato. I kept seeing them over and over and over again eat it, never tried it. I tried it and it was exactly how she explained it. Really, really delicious. So these I'll just throw in the microwave, or you can bake them too, but I just keep it really, really simple, and this is actually one of the main reasons I come here. So we're leaving Pioneer Co-op. There's some things that I'm not going to be getting today, like all the different nuts, because I have nuts at home. I've got, you know, different peanuts, cashews, Brazil nuts, walnuts, Saka Inky nuts, you know, so I've got a variety of nuts at home. I've got oatmeal at home. Some different things. So now we're gonna head over to Hy-Vee, just get some other basics, you know, fruits, veggies, legumes, frozen berries, things like this, and then we'll be out of here. So we're about to walk into Hy-Vee, get everything else that I need, and like I said, this is more just the staples that I have throughout the week. Every single time I come, I always start in the fresh produce section. This really, for the most part, except for certain days where I'm really out of stuff, this is 70% of where I'm shopping, and it really should be. I mean, the fresh section is really where you want to be. The more inside the aisles you get, the more processed you're going to get. There are certain things in the aisles that I will get, such as, you know, certain pastas, rice, quinoa, legumes, things like that. But for the most part, fresh fruits, fresh veggies, that is the bulk of my grocery shopping. I get every week because I get a mixture of lemons and limes. As you know, every morning I start out with fresh lemon water or fresh lime water. I might also add it to my recipes. For my homemade hummus, I'm always using lemon. For my lemon tahini dressing, which I'm actually going to be making tonight for a Friday dinner, uses lemons. So I actually use quite a bit of lemons and limes. So I'll probably just get, you know, a mixture, mostly of this, like 2/3 are limes, 1/3 are lemons or whatever, but generally like 8 to 10. And then, you know, I mix up the fruits and veggies every week. One of the rules of thumb that I've always tried to do is have 2 new fruits and or vegetables every week. Go and just grab from the section that you have never had before. If you've never had, you know, certain fresh vegetables, as we'll get to see, like bok choy. You know, not a lot of people have had bok choy. If you haven't had bok choy, grab bok choy and just try it that week. Try a couple of different things. That way you're always feeding your gut microbiome and your gut bacteria all these different all these different fibers, things like this. You're building up your system, your gut microbiome, and just keeping a diverse diet, keeping things fun and flexible. This is 79% of my 80% right here, bananas. No, just kidding. But I do get a bunch of bananas. And when I get bananas, when I get apples, when I get things like this, I really do try to get organic. I used to not, and quite frankly, if you can't, it's not a big deal. But there have been crazy statistics now coming out that the difference between organic and not organic can be whether or not you lose or gain up to 80 or even 90% of the nutrients within the fruit or within the food. because of the way it's grown, the way it's preserved. A lot of people think that the organic has to do with just pesticides. Now, there are certain things that they can't use with the organic, but it's also, for me, it's a big thing in regards to the actual nutrient density of the food that you're actually getting. And so for me, I always get a ton of bananas. So I'll end up getting like 3 or 4 of these, and the reason is not because I eat this many bananas in a week, but I let them get very, very ripe so that I can put them in the freezer. I peel them and put them in the freezer so that I can use them for recipes like banana ice cream, or if I'm making a banana bread, or whatever it is that I'm making. But that way I always make sure I have onions. Onions are major thing that I keep in stock, especially for their health benefits. I also just love the flavor of onions. I generally keep red onions there as well, but I really like sweet onions, white onions. So today, I'll probably just grab 1 red onion, and I'll just get 1 of these as well. Now, the thing that I really like to get, I like to get a bunch of apples. I love apples. I'll probably end up eating a couple of them a day. Dates are actually something I used to buy. This was actually the company that I would always get, Natural Delights. This company probably has the best dates that I find in the grocery store, because I do medjool dates. And you can get pitted or non-pitted. If they're available, I get the pitted. And I used to get like 2 or 3 of these a week, and literally eat 2 or 3 of these a week. In fact, while I was grocery shopping, I used to just run through one of these. I love them. But now, as I've shown y'all, I use the date people out in California, and I have a 15-pound box of medjool dates that I use at home. So for right now, I'm actually not in need of any of these. But we will get some apples, and I kind of mix it up with what apples I get. But what I'll get this week, I'll try 2 of these, but I gotta tell you, these are sweet tango apples. So I'm not, real specific. I kind of just mix it up and just say, hey, I've never had this one. Let me try it. But I gotta tell you, the ones that I've been loving are these opal apples, these yellow ones. Oh my gosh. They're so sweet. They're so delicious. Right now, these, along with I'm not seeing them here since I've been up in Iowa, but down in the south in Texas, we have envy apples. Envy apples might be my favorite apples. They're absolutely delicious. But tied with that, or second to, are these opal apples. So I'll just stock up on these. I'll end up getting like 6 or 7 of these for a week. One thing that I'm a really big advocate on is doing a fruit bowl a day. So one of my meals is just fruit. I'll have 1 big plate of just fruit. It'll be a mixture of like grapes, apples, dates, figs, oranges, whatever it is. Not just 1 orange or something like that, but a whole bowl or a whole plate of fruit. I'm very, very big on that. So with the apples, the reason I get so many is because I might have 2 just of apples on that plate. And then probably the last thing I'll get for fruit will be moondrop grapes. So these moondrop grapes are absolutely delicious. I'm like a huge fan of peaches and pears. Peaches I probably won't get this week, just because I'm gonna be getting some other different fruits that I don't really always have on a weekly basis. I don't get pears every week, but this week I will get pears. My favorite pears right now are Bosc pears. If you let these pears get really, really, really ripe, you want to get it to where you can just press your finger into it very clearly. Bosc pears are, in my opinion, hands down the best pears, along with red pears. I really love red pears. So I'll get a couple of these. I also like the other pears as well, but Bosc pears to me are just unbelievably delicious. Yeah, and then I also like to really get kiwis a lot. This week I won't do kiwis. I'll just get a variety of pears. So I'll get some red pears, and I'll get 1 of these as well. So I'll basically get 4 different types of pears this week. And now we'll get, vegetables. We're pretty much good with fruit for this week. Like I said, I've got a ton of dates at home. I've got a ton of figs at home. I've got my superfood trail mix at home, which has my goji berries, mulberries, golden berries, things like that. But now we'll go ahead and just get some main staples for vegetables. Pretty much always have some type of cruciferous vegetable, whether it be broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Cruciferous vegetables are a main staple for me. To me, it's like a non-negotiable vegetable. So I'll do broccoli. The other thing that I really always have I always have shredded carrots. It could be in my stir fries. It could be whenever I bake, you know, different mixed vegetables, like I'll do broccoli, mushrooms, things like that. I'll throw carrots in there. They're just a very easy vegetable to throw in. They're filling. They're very, very high in fiber. And quite frankly, they're very sweet. If you actually just eat a carrot, it tastes very good. So I always, always, always get shredded carrots. I don't really get these very much. I got one last week, but it had been months before then and whenever I got them. But getting some type of the sprouted greens. I sprout my own broccoli sprouts at home, but I do like to choose, you know, some type of sprouted green. I had one of these last week, but this week I'm gonna do a bold and spicy. I've done the spicy ones before, and I've got to tell you, the flavor in this, it is literally spicy. I mean, it's crazy how spicy it is actually. And this will just be for like, if I'm gonna do like a little bed of, you know, lettuces or something. So it'd be like this, maybe with some carrots, maybe with some broccoli sprouts, things like that. You know, just easy to have a bed of lettuce and then throw stuff on top. I generally always get mushrooms as well. I'm very, very big with mushrooms, so I'll get one of these. You know, right now we're actually not growing a whole lot on the farm because the weather's turning, although there are certain things that you can grow in the house, which maybe we'll do another video for, but we usually grow like a lot of cilantro, green onions, things like this. I haven't had that in a while, so what I'll go ahead and do is I'll get some of these for right now. And then for something kind of not completely new, but something I haven't had in quite a while, is purple cabbage. And so I'll do like a purple cabbage, and the reason is because if you like lettuce wraps, you know, you can put hummus on there, rice, quinoa, some beans, or some tofu, whatever. Purple cabbage is absolutely incredible for you. It's actually even better for you than regular cabbage. And so this is generally what I'll be doing this week, at least. I don't usually do this every week, but for this week, I'll go ahead and do some lettuce wraps, and I'll use purple cabbage. This is another big section of my shopping is legumes. So I always make sure I have black beans. In fact, Dr. Michael Greger says, you know, out of all the different beans, black beans are the healthiest. However, whenever he asks the question with nuts or beans, what's the healthiest nut or bean? It's the one that you're willing to eat. So whichever of the beans that you're willing to eat, pinto beans, cannellini beans, navy beans, different things like this, you know, go ahead and grab them. I grab a variety. So this week, you know, I'll get some red beans. I'll get a couple things of black beans. And the reason I do black beans too is it's good to have on hand because I'll do actually black bean sweet potato brownies, which if I didn't tell you that black beans were in them, you would have no idea. They're extremely fudgy, super sweet, really delicious. So I keep those on hand. I'll do some navy beans and some Great Northern beans. I'll also do, you know, some pinto beans. And it doesn't mean that I'll be eating all of this week, although I do go through quite a bit of legumes. But at least to have them on hand. I always have chickpeas. Chickpeas go in a lot of different recipes that I do. It could be in my hummus, but also, you know, what I actually use my chickpeas for is my cookie dough. Nobody, you would not know that chickpeas are used in my cookie dough. The cookie dough is absolutely probably my favorite recipe out of all of my whole food plant-based recipes that I have. It's incredibly sweet, tastes just like cookie dough. So I keep, you know, 4 or 5 of these cans on me at all times. I actually have a couple of them at home, but the other one that I always do is corn. I'm a huge fan of corn. It goes in my homemade Chipotle bowls. It'll go in my burritos, different things like that, but love corn. I probably go through 2 or 3 or 4 cans a week of corn. So I do like to get pastas, and I'll do, you know, like a red lentil pasta, a chickpea pasta, but also the pastas that I really get a lot of is whole wheat. So, you know, this is whole wheat rigatoni. They have whole wheat, you know, long pasta over there. So just any kind, it can come in any way that it needs to come. But these are the main pastas that I do get. They're super high in, you know, protein, whether it's the wheat one or the lentil one, obviously. But the other thing that I really like to get and keep on me at all times is olives. And I generally do the garlic stuffed olives, although sometimes I'll do the jalapeno stuffed olives as well. But I pretty much always keep olives on me at all times. The other thing that I like to do, you can make your own at home, but is refried beans. And I'll do like refried pinto beans, refried black beans, things like that, because but it'll be the fat-free ones. And the reason I do that is because it won't have the lard in it, and it will literally just be refried black beans, refried pinto beans. There's nothing added to it. It might be some salt or something like that, but no sugar, no lard, things like that. So I like to keep a couple of those at home as well. Always have frozen berries. And I usually get a medley like this, where it'll be blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, but just a mixture of berries. If I can, I like to find wild blueberries, and today we're in luck. Wild blueberries are quite a bit expensive, but the reason you get these is because, you know, Dr. Michael Greger explains really well things with antioxidants. And if you look at fruits and things with antioxidants, antioxidants are generally measured by units. The higher the units, the more antioxidants they have. So, you know, like an apple will have like 40 units. A banana will have like 60 units. A mango will have like 110 units. The vibrant color gives it more antioxidants. It'll have like 110. Strawberries will have like 310. Raspberries, 330. Regular blueberries will have about 380. But the thing is blackberries are like the king of berries when it comes to the regular berries. They have 650. However, if you get wild blueberries, they have basically double what regular blueberries have. So if regular blueberries have 380, wild blueberries have 760 about. So wild blueberries are actually even higher than blackberries. And so if you can get these, I would get them. But because they generally come in small bags and they're expensive, I just use a little bit at a time whenever I mix them in with my other berries. So the section I'm in right now is, in my opinion, the reason Hy-Vee is set apart. Now, I know that all of my friends and family in the South are going to not be happy with me. I know about H-E-B in the South very, very well. Shopped there for years. I mean, this is literally only my first year living up north, you know, here in Iowa. And so I've been wrestling the last 6 months between what offers more between Hy-Vee and H-E-B, and I've always said that Hy-Vee is the H-E-B of the North or vice versa. I've got to say, the thing that separates Hy-Vee is their health food section. They have like 5 or 6 aisles of a health food section, and this section separates so much, and so I live in this section right here. I'm gonna get some. Oh, and so I really like to get tahini. Whenever I get tahini, I'll check it to make sure it's just the sesame seeds. It's not a bunch of other ingredients with it, which this is. It's just sesame seeds. The other thing that I like to keep at home, I don't use it a whole lot, but I'll use nutritional yeast. If you're a whole food plant-based, or you're eating like more of a vegan lifestyle, nutritional yeast is really big for everybody because it has like the cheesy flavor. It's a good source of B vitamins. And so, you know, being on a plant-based diet, really on any diet, it doesn't matter whether you eat meat, dairy, you don't eat meat, dairy, it doesn't matter what it is. You need a B12 supplement, but this has a lot of B vitamins, and so people will use this, but it goes really good with certain recipes. But I actually have multiple flavors of the nutritional yeast at home, so I'll keep that on hand. This company right here, Synergy, is, in my opinion, it's the best kombucha that you'll find in the stores. It's the cleanest. And you can actually see all the cultures and everything here at the bottom of it. I only do half in the morning on an empty stomach. Whenever I do that, I'm either doing the lemon water in the morning or I'm doing this on an empty stomach. This is the flavor I do. I'll also do a berry one. It's like a blueberry one, but this one is probably my favorite. This one and the gingerberry. And like I said, before I do it, I'll just shake it up to where all that stuff at the bottom mixes in. I'll only do half of it. It's a 16-ounce bottle, and I'll just do 8 ounces in the morning on an empty stomach. One thing I eat a lot of tofu. And so one thing of tofu, I always get the extra firm. It's really not that much, you know, one case of tofu. And so I'll actually probably usually go through one of these a day, honestly. So I'll get a bunch of them, but it also goes with a lot of my different recipes. As y'all seen my pumpkin crustless pie, which I actually have added crust to. That one has tofu in it. And so I'll usually get per week, you know, at least one for each day. This soda, Zevia, it's 0 calories, and it's not sweetened with sucralose, which is actually extremely bad for your gut microbiome. It's actually been shown that your insulin will spike, which shows that it brings insulin resistance whenever you actually have things like sucralose, as well as destroying your gut microbiome. It's actually sweetened with stevia leaf. And so these are actually, for the most part, all good flavors. I haven't tried every single one. This one is amazing. This one is amazing. And I've had a handful of these right here. So I like to keep these on hand if I can as well, just because it's something that I like to have like at night with my dinner or whatever it is. But all right. Keep, you know, y'all have seen me with the different kind of crackers that I got from Pioneer Co-op. They actually sell those here at Hy-Vee in their health food section. We just happened to buy them earlier. But I really like to keep rice cakes on me. And I generally will do like multigrain rice cakes, or I'll do brown rice. This week I'll probably do multigrain, and I won't go through these in a week. I may not even go through these in a couple weeks. It'll just kind of sit there in my pantry, and I'll just use them for, you know, if I want to do some avocado, like somebody might do avocado toast, put them on a rice cake. Or a lot of times what I'll do as a snack is one of my homemade nut butters with like a banana on top, or some dates or raisins or something like that. So these are perfect to keep on hand. And then I like to keep these taco shells on hand too. These taco shells, this company is a really, really good company. I'll use a couple of its products, but it's literally just cassava flour. It does have a little bit of avocado oil and things like that, but I don't stress out about that. It's a great substitute for me for tacos. It's like a hard taco shell. And then a major staple, this is every single week for me, is the Ezekiel burrito wraps. So I'll just keep 2 because I might go through both of these. Because generally, like for lunch or something, I'll have 2 burritos or 2 big tacos a day. But also the Ezekiel bread is really good. I use the 7-grain sprouted bread, which they don't have here at the current moment. But these are really, really good. I use them for a lunch basically every day. I also always have some type of nut milk at home. An unsweetened almond milk. I do unsweetened vanilla almond milk or unsweetened vanilla cashew milk, something like that. But I actually have almond milk at home right now, so I'm not going to need any more. The other thing that I really like to get is unsweetened applesauce. I love unsweetened applesauce. It's perfect for a fruit meal. I'll just throw it in a bowl, top some fruit on top. It's also good for certain recipes that I use. But these are a couple things that I'm not going to be getting this week because I either have them at home or I'm just not going to be eating them this week. I always get hemp seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds. I make sure that the flax seeds are ground, the chia seeds are ground, but y'all have seen my mix that I do every morning. I mix it in one jar where I do hemp seed, flax seed, chia seed, and I'll just do a scoop of that in my oatmeal or in my frozen berry dish, like my acai bowl, my homemade acai bowl. I'm actually out of hemp hearts, so I'll get some of these. The great thing about these, I mean, this will literally last you. If you get this, you get a flaxseed one and a chia seed one, those bags will last you even a couple months. I mean, they last you for a very long time. So getting some of these. Yeah. Just finished at Hy-Vee. We went to Pioneer Co-op before. I've got all my groceries for the week, and quite frankly, I've got groceries that are just going to be sitting kind of in the fridge or freezer or pantry, probably for a couple weeks, so I'm good for right now. We're going to go back to the house, get some food, get some dinner prepared for tonight, as well as washing off our fruits and just kind of doing that whole process. So we'll see you back at home.